5 more maritime mysteries. 1. The disappearance of the SS London. The SS London was a British steamship built in 1864, intended to be a state-of-the-art vessel for carrying passengers and cargo between England and Australia. On her ill-fated final voyage, the London set sail from Gravesend, Kent, on December 13, 1865, carrying passengers, crew, and a valuable cargo that included gold. After passing through the English Channel, the ship encountered severe storms in the Bay of Biscay. On January 11, 1866, just a month after leaving England, the SS London was overwhelmed by a violent storm and sank. Of the 239 people on board, only 19 survived, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters involving a British passenger ship of the 19th century. Survivors reported that the ship struggled against the storm for several days before being swamped by a massive wave. Water flooded the engine room, causing the vessel to lose power, and the crew was unable to pump out the water fast enough. As the ship began to sink, passengers and crew tried to launch lifeboats, but only one managed to escape the wreck, carrying 19 survivors. The official investigation into the disaster concluded that the London was overloaded, with too much cargo stored on the lower decks, contributing to the flooding. Additionally, the ship's design made it top-heavy, causing it to list heavily in rough seas. Theories. Overloading and cargo mismanagement. One of the most accepted theories is that the London was overloaded with cargo, which destabilized the ship and made it more vulnerable to capsizing in rough seas. The cargo, including barrels of oil and wine, likely shifted during the storm, exacerbating the listing. Design flaws. Some experts believe that the London's design was flawed from the outset. The ship's steam engine was placed too low in the hull, contributing to its instability, and the decision to carry a large amount of cargo in addition to passengers made the ship top-heavy. Storm of unusual strength. The Bay of Biscay is known for its treacherous weather, but some researchers believe that the storm encountered by the London was unusually strong, with rogue waves far exceeding the capabilities of the vessel to withstand. This theory suggests that no amount of good decision-making could have saved the ship from such a powerful natural force. Despite the inquiries, the sinking of the SS London remains a tragic example of the dangers of maritime travel in the 19th century. The loss of life, including many women and children, shocked Victorian society and led to improvements in safety regulations for passenger vessels. 2. The MV Lyra, the shipwreck lost to time. The MV Lyra was a cargo ship that sank in the early 1960s during a routine voyage off the coast of Japan. While details of the ship's operations are sparse, the Lyra became famous not for the cargo it carried, but for the strange and mysterious circumstances surrounding its sinking. Little is known about the vessel, its exact cargo, or its final transmission, leaving its story shrouded in uncertainty. Facts and theories. The Lyra was reportedly carrying industrial materials when it encountered trouble during a storm in the Pacific Ocean. Eyewitness accounts from nearby vessels suggest that the Lyra had sent out a distress signal, but the message was garbled and unclear. By the time rescuers arrived in the area, the ship had already disappeared beneath the waves. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the ship was ever found, nor were the bodies of the crew. The ship's disappearance led to rumors and conspiracy theories, with some suggesting the Lyra may have been involved in covert operations or carrying secret military equipment during the height of the Cold War. Others claim the ship was transporting hazardous materials, and its sinking may have been the result of an onboard accident. One peculiar detail often mentioned in maritime reports is the lack of any wreckage or oil slick, which would typically be present in a large-scale shipwreck. This absence led some to speculate that the Lyra was intentionally scuttled to cover up its true cargo or that it was swallowed by one of the deep ocean trenches, never to be found. The true story of the MV Lyra remains hidden beneath the waters, but the speculation continues, adding to the mystique of this lost ship. 3. The Princess Sophia, Alaska's worst maritime disaster. On October 25, 1918, the Princess Sophia, a Canadian Pacific steamship, departed from Skagway, Alaska, on its way to Vancouver. The Princess Sophia was a popular passenger vessel, carrying hundreds of passengers, many of whom were miners returning from the Yukon goldfields. Tragically, the ship would never complete its journey. The Princess Sophia ran aground on Vanderbilt Reef during a snowstorm in the treacherous Lynn Canal, and what followed would become one of the deadliest maritime disasters in Alaska's history. Facts and theories. The Princess Sophia hit the reef late in the night, but the crew initially believed the ship could be refloated at high tide. However, worsening weather conditions prevented any rescue attempts, as nearby ships were unable to approach the reef. For nearly 2 days, the passengers and crew waited for help, trapped aboard the stranded ship as the storm intensified. On October 26, the weather took a deadly turn. High winds and crashing waves battered the Princess Sophia, and on October 27, she was swept off the reef and sank within minutes. Tragically, every single person on board, an estimated 343 people, drowned in the icy waters. The only survivor was a pet dog found days later. There have been questions about why the rescue operations were delayed. Some suggest that the ship's captain underestimated the danger, believing the ship could weather the storm until help arrived. Others criticize the lack of urgency from nearby ships, though the conditions were undoubtedly perilous. The Princess Sophia disaster remains a haunting reminder of the power of nature and the peril of navigating Alaska's rugged coastlines, especially during its fierce winter storms. Many still wonder if the lives lost could have been saved had rescue attempts been more aggressive in those critical early hours. 4. The USS Cyclops, the Bermuda Triangle Enigma. The USS Cyclops was a Navy collier, a ship designed to carry coal, that disappeared in 1918 while traveling from Barbados to Baltimore. The Cyclops was one of the largest and most powerful ships in the U.S. Navy at the time, capable of carrying enormous amounts of coal for refueling other vessels. However, on this fateful voyage, she was carrying manganese ore instead. The Cyclops and her 306 crew and passengers vanished without a trace, becoming one of the earliest and most famous disappearances in the so-called Bermuda Triangle. Facts and theories. The Cyclops's disappearance sparked widespread speculation. The ship left Barbados on March 4, 1918, bound for Baltimore. She never arrived, no SOS signal was ever received, and no debris or wreckage was found, despite extensive searches. One of the earliest theories suggested that the ship had been sunk by a German U-boat, as World War I was still raging. However, there was no evidence of a submarine attack, and the ship was thought to be far from known U-boat activity. Another theory involves structural failure. The Cyclops was heavily loaded with manganese ore, and some believe that a combination of this load and rough seas caused the ship to capsize. However, the most popular theory involves the Bermuda Triangle, the mysterious region between Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, where ships and planes have allegedly vanished under unexplained circumstances. The Cyclops's disappearance is often cited as one of the most significant losses within the Bermuda Triangle, fueling speculation about magnetic anomalies, methane gas eruptions, or even extraterrestrial involvement. Though many theories have been proposed, the fate of the USS Cyclops remains unsolved, making it one of the greatest unsolved maritime mysteries in U.S. naval history. 5. The Andrea Doria, the luxury liner that didn't make it. The Andrea Doria was an Italian luxury liner considered one of the most beautiful ships of her time. Launched in 1951, the Andrea Doria boasted lavish interiors, state-of-the-art technology, and was celebrated as a marvel of Italian post-war engineering. However, on July 25, 1956, she collided with the Swedish ship MS Stockholm in dense fog off the coast of Nantucket, Massachusetts. The sinking of the Andrea Doria remains one of the most famous maritime disasters in modern history, both for the loss of life and the dramatic rescue efforts. Facts and theories. The collision occurred during the final leg of the Andrea Doria's journey from Italy to New York. In thick fog, the Andrea Doria and the MS Stockholm were on a collision course, both believing they were on a safe path. Despite the modern radar systems aboard both vessels, a series of miscalculations and poor communication led to the two ships colliding head-on. The Stockholm struck the starboard side of the Andrea Doria, tearing a massive hole in her hull. The Andrea Doria immediately began listing to one side, and despite the heroic efforts of the crew, it became clear that the ship was sinking. In the hours that followed, an unprecedented rescue operation was launched, with nearby ships responding to the Andrea Doria's distress signal. Over 1,660 passengers were rescued in what has been hailed as a miraculous evacuation. However, 46 people perished, either during the collision or in the chaos that followed. The Andrea Doria's wreck now lies at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, where it has become a popular, though dangerous, site for deep-sea divers. Theories about the disaster focus on the role of human error, the misinterpretation of radar signals, and the inadequate safety measures on both vessels. Some experts believe that the crew of the Andrea Doria over-relied on radar technology, leading to the ship's tragic course. Others fault the MS Stockholm for its speed in the fog, though ultimately, the collision appears to have been the result of a series of unfortunate mistakes by both ships. Another notable aspect of the Andrea Doria tragedy is the fact that the ship took nearly 11 hours to sink after the collision, giving ample time for rescue operations. However, the ship's list was so severe that many lifeboats were inaccessible, adding to the chaos and difficulty of the evacuation. Despite the tragic loss of life, the disaster is often remembered for the incredible number of lives saved through the quick response of nearby vessels. Today, the wreck of the Andrea Doria is often referred to as the Mount Everest of shipwrecks, due to the extreme difficulty of diving to its location. Over the years, several divers have lost their lives exploring the wreck, adding to the ship's mystique as one of the most dangerous underwater sites in the world. Conclusion. From the haunting disappearance of the Hesperus lighthouse keepers to the tragic loss of life on the Andrea Doria, the sea has always been a place of wonder, danger, and unsolved mysteries. Ships like the MV Lyra, Princess Sophia, USS Cyclops, and Andrea Doria are more than just vessels lost to history. They are stories of human courage, tragedy, and the unrelenting power of nature. Each of these maritime mysteries continues to captivate those who seek answers. Some, like the sinking of the Andrea Doria, provide partial explanations, though questions still remain about what exactly went wrong. Others, like the disappearance of the USS Cyclops and the strange fate of the Hesperus lighthouse keepers, leave us with only theories, hauntingly unresolved after decades of speculation. These stories remind us that the ocean, for all its beauty and bounty, can also be unforgiving, keeping its secrets locked away in the depths. Whether through storm, fog, or human error, the ships and lives lost to the sea endure in memory and legend, fueling our imagination and our quest for understanding. Thank you for watching this deep dive into 5 of the sea's most intriguing mysteries. If you enjoyed this exploration, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on future episodes. Until next time, stay curious, and never stop searching for the answers to the mysteries that lie beneath the waves.